The Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster physical version is getting a re-release in October, but why is that a big deal? Stay tuned and keep on watching if you want to find out. Before we get started, it's no secret, of course, that Final Fantasy 1 through 6 are some of my favourite games ever, as is made evident by my drawing here that's been signed by Hironobu Sakaguchi himself, but I actually have drawn another version of Warrior of Light because I love him so much, and I have an Etsy store for my art prints, and if you want to support the channel, then feel free to have a look at the link in the description box below for my art store, as I do portraits of all kinds of video game characters, and I really love making these, and I love making them and sending them out to people. So if it's something that interests you, then feel free to have a quick click in the description box below. So for those of you who don't know what the Pixel Remaster series is, it is a remastered version of the first 6 Final Fantasy games. So they were originally released on PC and mobile in 2021, back in July, but they released the games sequentially, so 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. Well, 1, 2, and 3 all came out at the same time. But it wasn't until the console release in 2023 where things started to take a bit of a weird turn. So alongside the digital release for Final Fantasy 1 to 6 on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, a physical version was released for both of those consoles. But they had a really limited release, and so because of that, Scalpers decided this was a good opportunity for them to capitalize on the Final Fantasy fandom. So taking a look at eBay here, and bear in mind that these were sold as recently as June, some copies of the Pixel Remasters, not the Super Limited Collector's Edition, just the game itself, were being sold for £700, £260, 30 bids on them, over £100 for a collection of games that shouldn't really be selling for that amount of money at the best of times. And the collector's edition is going for even more ridiculous prices, some of them hitting upwards of £1,000 being asked for by various scalpers on eBay. Now, given that the MSRP for the Pixel Remaster Collection, just this on its own, was $75 plus tax and shipping from Square Enix's official store, you can see that the prices now are starting to resemble that of what they should, rather than the crazy hundreds of pounds prices that people were asking for. And that's because just now they've announced a reprint of the physical versions of the Pixel Remaster. However, there is something a little different about these ones that means that the scalpers might still get their way when it comes to these old copies. So looking at the photo here that's provided by NintendoLife.com, the Final Fantasy Collection Anniversary Edition is getting reprinted in October on the 8th. And as you can see, compared to my copy that I have here, my copy doesn't have the Anniversary Edition that's written on the side there, and it means that it comes with a sticker sheet as well. But realistically, what this means is just a general wider release of the product. But this begs the question, the fact that there is a little bit of text on that box that differentiates it from these original versions that we still have, does that mean that people will still charge hundreds of pounds for these first print runs? Probably, and I really hate that that's true, because realistically, does it really matter? I may even sell my copy of this and get the Anniversary Edition, because as long as I get to play the games, it's really not that big a deal to me. I think that this Anniversary Edition of the Pixel Remasters actually presents a really interesting opportunity as well that Square Enix did not take with the initial print run of the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters, that they may well be able to if they update the games alongside this second release. Now, many of you may be already aware of this, but the GBA and PSP versions of the Final Fantasy original game, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually have additional content on them that the Pixel Remasters don't have. There are even jobs missing from the newest versions of Final Fantasy V that are present in the GBA versions, but not the Pixel Remasters. And wouldn't it be a great opportunity to add some of that additional content in, now that they're doing a second print run of the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters? It would definitely get a lot of people interested in playing them a second time. I know I'd be one of them. Having Final Fantasy II in Pixel Remaster form, with the Soul of Rebirth storyline in it that lets you play as Minwu as the main character, who is one of the fiercest characters in Final Fantasy II, with the updates and everything that's been added to Pixel Remaster, wouldn't that be amazing? And in a period of time where everyone can get access to the physical copies of these games, I think that perhaps I'm maybe projecting a little bit too much copium on getting the updates from the various versions of Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on the Pixel Remasters, but I think that it's such a shame and a missed opportunity to not have the absolute definitive versions of these 6 games present in one complete package, and one that's now available to everyone as well. We shouldn't have to be making these decisions between whether the GBA version of Final Fantasy VI is better than the Pixel Remaster version of FF6, because you get the quality of life changes from the Pixel Remaster version, but you get additional content from the GBA one. It's all a bit weird to me, so I think that now is a brilliant opportunity for Square Enix to bring those updates to a true definitive version of the first 6 Final Fantasy games. Now, I know my copium is real, but it does come with substantiated guidance as to why I might think that. So, according to The Gamer here, Square has decided not only is it going to give Final Fantasy fans a second chance to buy their own physical copy of the Pixel Remaster, but it's releasing the second wave through multiple retailers. Not only that, but this updated version of the game, and is available to pre-order now, is an anniversary edition. The special edition comes with a sticker sheet and includes some in-game tweaks. What those in-game tweaks are, I don't know. All I know is that the PC version was updated to match the console versions through having the additional text or font formatting and little bits and pieces like that. So while I'm not hoping for miracles here, one can dream and one can pretend that this could happen. I'm also curious to see if they reprint the collector's edition of the game. Honestly, the only reason I kept my copy sealed is because I'm a broke-ass bee right now, and I have been for a little while, so when I got this in the mail and I saw quite how expensive it was, this is very much a save in case of a rainy day situation. But if they reprint it, honestly, I'll be really happy about that too, because I think that people should have access to all the cool stuff that's inside here. Like, there's a vinyl, there's some little figurines and little bits and pieces. It's nothing super crazy, and it's certainly not the kind of thing that I think is worth spending £1,500+ on. But it's definitely a nice, cool thing to have. Basically, F Scalpers, I'm just glad that more people get to own copies of this cool game. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Did you want a physical edition of the Pixel Remasters but couldn't get one on their initial release run? Does it make a difference to you that it's the anniversary edition and not the same one that I have with the first print run? Is it something that you're hoping to see when it comes to the updates in the game, that we get the actual additional content that we got in the GBA and PSP versions of Final Fantasy 1 through 6? Because I know it's something I want. And if you're not sure what to comment, just type the word algorithm into the comments, because it really does help me out as a content creator a great deal. So that's going to be all from today's video. Thank you ever so much for watching. Stay tuned, because we will have lots of content coming up about Visions of Mana and Dragon Quest III 2D HD. That's still a mouthful to say. And I've got loads of stuff coming up about Final Fantasy in general as well. So if you want to stay tuned and keep an eye on those, then feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like what you see here, and give a thumbs up to this video and let everyone know about your love for the original Final Fantasy games. And with that, I shall love you and leave you. Take care, everyone. See you next time.